While y'all coming in. Okay, here we go. Come on in and chat with the chief. First one, first serve. When I see you in there, I'm going to call you up. Right, we're going to chat with the people on the land. Try to get a pulse for what's going on in real time. And probably share a little bit of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Right? So, whoever want to come in, y'all just send me the request. And we can start chopping it up. Don't nobody want to talk? Ain't getting no requests. I should have at least one. There go one. First come, first serve. KG80. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if y'all hear anything, okay? Yeah, I just got done rolling up, so I know the feeling. Peace, God.
Peace, God. What's going on, brother?
Just taking it easy. You total darkness over there. Trying to see if I can't bring you into the light.
Yeah, let me flip the light real quick. I'm laying down. But I just had a question that I got a few questions, but I just want this one question. I want to see, do you know it? I don't know if you're paying attention to the situation that's going on with the YSL RICO case. I want to do that have anything going on with the judicial system?
Well, every case that's going into court goes through the judicial system. The judicial system is the court system. So anybody in court is in the judicial system. They are tied up with them people.
So that is a separate entity from what's going on with the government, is what you're saying, in a sense?
No, it's all tied together.
Do you think that is like a basically like that's scripted? Because I feel like it's scripted in a sense.
Which cases you talking
with
about?
Young Thug and all those.
Oh yeah, Young Thug's situation is he was making money, and he was trying to hold on to ownership to his masters and distribution, and they didn't want him to keep it.
Okay.
That's what they gave him a case, but that ain't what he fight.
I believe that.
He really fighting to be the master of his own destiny, and they designed it as a criminal prosecution. The same with Young Dolph. Young Dolph case got some anomalies in it, but I know that Empire Records was trying to cash in an insurance policy on him and also seize his masters because they was his distributor. Right, and if he's gone, then that's a loss to the company that they can recoup through the insurance agencies. That's what Soulja Boy, right after Dolph situation came on and was like, we don't move like that in Memphis. That's somebody else. He knew it wasn't homegrown, so he had to put it out in the public domain, and I caught it. He don't know who them people is on their land. All of the chiefs in the town know there's imposters on the land, but they don't know who they are or what to do about them. But they know how they move. They move funny style.
And so that's another reason why, because I feel like you're saying that it's chiefs on the land and that they all know their position. And I just feel like if they in a higher up role as far as like with notoriety and influence on the people, because like I pay attention to stuff like that, like with people with high influences and whatnot. So when I come into the realization of what's going on, it's kind of hard to decipher is who really like standing for us and actually will make the initiative to speak the truth. You feel me? Especially we got an influence, but if it's still in the age of as to if you speaking the truth, you still could get persecuted, then that's understandable. But if we in the age of that everything is falling down, I don't understand as to why like most of the influences that
Okay, this will make it real easy for you to understand. until our people put us back in power, they gonna run this simulation till they can't run it no more.
Hmm.
That's all they can do. So police gonna be trying to arrest folks. Not all police, because some of them got stickers on the back of their car, basically saying that they off duty permanently. They just driving the car around town. There's a couple cities got those cars with the sticker on them. I think it's like 9 active duty police officers, some shit. And they running out of money, and they just trying to they doing all of these shenanigans to look like they in power and that they stronger than they really is. That's the art of war. When you weak, appear strong. When you strong, appear weak. It's a grand delusion. So until we take this shit all the way back over, they're not gonna stop doing whatever they can get away with. They only gonna do what they can get away with.
And we the ones
Period.
supposed to hold them accountable.
Yep. But right now we gotta hold them accountable by listening to people like Chief Warhorse telling us what's been going on so we can get caught up to where we at now. Right? So if she giving you the background, I'm telling you in real time. And then the oracles is flipping out the near future.
You say oracles, those are the tarot readers, if I'm not mistaken.
They use different means, but they seers. They can see and translate spiritually into the common language so you can understand what spirit is saying.
Cool. Well, that was all my questions that I had for you as far as that. I appreciate you, brother R.A.
All right, appreciate you too, nephew. I'm gonna take another caller in now.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Got this layer. Come on in here and give my eyes a hug.
Peace. How you doing?
Hey, sweetie, how you doing?
Good. I'm so excited. I just love you. I feel like, oh no, I feel like I'm like you really my uncle. Like we really family.
I'm glad I had that effect on you.
Yes, you do. So I have a question for you because um I was speaking to Brother Bedell not too long ago, and he told me that he had spoke with you in regards to this young lady. Her name is Elena Danan. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Not right off, but me and Bedell only had a couple of conversations, so it won't be hard for me to figure out.
Okay, so they have this book. It's called The Cedars, right?
I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Okay, and so it's by Elena Danan, and she was talking about that she had an encounter with Inky,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she was saying how Enlil is gone. He's not on Earth anymore.
No, they jacked his ass.
Okay, so
He
he's
got
gone.
snatched up by the proverbial collar.
Yeah, so that's what I'm hearing. And then it also said like a lot of the grays are gone off of Earth too.
Yeah, those were the ones they was laboratory creations used for experimental purposes in hostile places. So yeah, most of them are gone.
Okay, so
Most of the ones that you're gonna see don't look no different than a regular human that you would see. And they got every color. So
okay, so I had a couple questions, right? So one of the questions I had was about they say that it's billions of people here on Earth, and I feel like a lot of people here who are here are like how do you put it? Bots. More like bots.
NCPs, 9 character
Right.
players.
So is it really billions of people that are here on Earth or no?
That's what they tell us. It's supposed to be 8.4 billion. But I personally don't believe it.
Okay. That's one of the questions I had. The other question that I had was so right now they said that a lot of the galactic federations came back and they're here now because they don't have any power. Like a lot of the old people who were here, who were infiltrating us, don't have any more power anymore.
That's true.
Okay, so
So what happened on Earth? We had a nuclear holocaust,
mhm,
and on the heels of that, it affected other star systems. And because other star systems was affected, a coalition that we call the Galactic Council moved in on an area that was unrestricted. It was an unrestricted free will universe. But during the Kali Yuga, we was just under. It was a restricted free will universe, meaning that the ones there, they can remain and use their free will to try to break free, but can't nobody leave or can't nobody go in without having special cause. So we
okay.
was like we was isolated in order to fight this war.
Okay, so, and then my last question, because I could ask you a whole bunch of questions, but
Mhm.
because I know it's other people who want to get on. But my last question that I wanted to ask, so where are we right now? Like, I know a lot of people are telling people to go within, raise the frequency, because that's one of my main things that I talk about. But where are we now? Like, what should we be doing right now in this moment?
And we at the part where no matter how smart you is, you can't see what's coming next. This is too close upon you. Until it happens, you won't be able to see it.
But
So
what should
the
we be
only,
doing to
the only,
prepare, though? You know?
the only thing I could tell you for the aftermath or the flip side, in the meantime, study family banking, organizational structure, so you can put the family back together, right? And what else? Uh, you should be already stocked up on food and water,
Yeah.
right? So the blackout can last anywhere from 30 minutes to 30 days. We don't know
Yeah, I know that's
when the
coming
money.
for sure. That's
Yeah,
coming. I can see it. Yeah,
yeah. The catalyst is going to be the collapse of the dollar.
right. That's coming really
When it,
soon.
yeah. So when they run out of money, it's going to freeze the system. It's going to be like somebody just slammed the whole country on brakes,
Okay, so
right? Because
are they gonna be able to come up with this one world currency that they're saying, like this Fed now and all the things that they're saying that they're gonna do?
they go into family banking. They don't have international digital currency archive
Mm,
for you to be able to do international trade using digital currency, but you also gonna have hard currency too, right? The old people that was trying to take over, they would have went to straight digital currency, and everything that you tried to buy, you would have to get clearance to purchase over a certain amount, almost like
exactly.
a luxury
Right.
tax. Yeah, that's not the system we accepted. That's not acceptable to the earthborn. So they had to make a compromise. The compromise is to have both hard currency and digital currency,
Hmm.
and they'll be interchangeable because all currency is now going to be backed by some form of substance.
Mm,
Gross national product, gross domestic product, but most of them going to be gold and silver to keep as many currencies on the same value ratio as every other country.
okay.
So
Okay.
whatever a dollar buy you in America, a dollar gonna buy you in Ethiopia, India, China, or England because it's only gonna be a dollar's worth of gold or silver. So
So it's all gonna
there's
be the
no,
same across the board. Okay.
well, the value of the international exchange of gold and silver is gonna determine the value of the money,
Mm, okay. Well,
and
thank
then
you.
all other currencies will trickle off of that.
Mm,
When I was on Dr. G a little earlier today. I don't know, House of Reawakened Minds. I was telling her that when they come back online, if you got money in the bank while the bank was froze, they gonna automatically convert it into crypto.
really?
Yeah, some form of digital currency. in order to make sure you don't lose your money.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
when the economy collapse, anybody who had money in the bank, the government's supposed to seize it.
So, okay, so what do you say about people who pull out all of their money out the banks, right?
This was gonna
Eh,
happen to the money
before it
you got
happened,
as
and they got
cash.
the, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they got the dollar,
Yeah.
because I know people
So
were saying that they gonna do that.
yeah, they better get it for the banks collapse. Because once the banks collapse, it's freezing every account.
Yeah.
The new government is going to pay back whatever is in your account if it's in the bank with digital currency, and then there's going to be an amnesty period. However much U.S. notes you have, Federal Reserve notes you have, then there'll be no questions asked. Turn it in, and they're going to give you an option of a monument, which means the backing of the currency, or you'll be able to deposit it on digital debit.
Wow. Okay, this my
That's the
last.
only.
This my last question.
Go
'Cause
ahead, you good?
I got one more question. I got one more question. Okay, so what was it? What was it? God, it just.
When the currency change, all mortgages are
Okay.
erased because it's a clause in all mortgage contracts that say if the state currency change, it voids the mortgage out and the property revert to the person who took the mortgage out to make sure that nobody's homeless.
So what are they gonna do about like land and stuff, like when, like, let's say, the grid shuts down, right? And people are in apartments and houses that they don't own and things like that. Like, what's gonna happen with that?
That's probably one of the things they're working on in the problem solving group because renters, that's some new shit to
Right,
us. Before these people came over here, everybody had their own living
right,
quarters. And whenever those living quarters became where they couldn't live in them, they went to Big Mama house.
right.
Right. So now you got something called a renter. That's something I do know that one of the first things is everybody that's sleeping on the street, they got to be there by choice. They can't be there because they can't afford a place to live. That's not tolerated. And it's gonna be somebody in every city gonna be giving free food away while it lasts for that day, every day. It might be the same person, might be a different person, but it's gonna be a free food giveaway because them people that was sleeping on the street, they've been hungry, right? Once we get done fully stabilizing the new system, then the sisters over here that want to take part in the delegation is going to be going around the world on peacekeeping missions, feeding and clothing and um, assessing how to feed the people in the local areas around the world, right? So one of the major parts about Ethiopia is the drought. Well, dig some fucking wells. Stop waiting for the rain,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Siphon water in off the ocean with a reverse osmosis machine to purify the water to make it drinkable. Stop waiting on the rain,
Yeah.
right? It's solutions to problems. That's it. Under the matriarchy, every problem has a solution, and the chief's job is to find it. We got to find the solution to the problems until we hit this golden age where everybody is living their best life simultaneously, creating heaven on earth. And it
Okay.
come through y'all. It
Okay. So
come through y'all. Y'all inherit. Y'all are the first heirs to the wealth of the earth. The women.
I feel that. I feel that on an
That's
energetic level.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's tied to the contract for y'all to bring life in, to carry the portal of life and to bring new life into the earth. And y'all gotta have the ability to secure the children and protect them for 7 generational increments. And once the women decide to do that, then the chief, the male's supposed to rally the troops to assist. right? And all tribes, cultures are local to that tribe. They families. Everybody family got a different tradition. But some family traditions has crossed into multiple families,
That's true.
and that make it where we can read kindreds from clean across the land. We could pull up on a picnic, walk up in there, and know that these is also our people. For you know it, we eating barbecue and dancing in the hustle line with everybody else.
Facts. That's
And
facts.
when we did, I was just going to the park to play some ball. I ain't intend on having no family reunion with some family I never knew I had.
That is
But
facts.
that's us, and when you walk up there, they don't have to know who you is. You could be a total stranger. They go, come on over here and get you a plate, girl. You look like you famished. The mamas don't feed you.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
I, re-
That's where the
I, re-
love
I
transfers through the
remember those
food.
days though, like back growing up in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Like that's how it really used to be. Like you could go
Hmm.
anywhere and they're gonna feed you. Everybody's cool. I miss those days.
Look, right now, my Uncle Matt live on County Farm Road in Magnolia. If he put out the word he having a fish fry and um everybody coming, they bringing fish, cornmeal, loaves of bread. Everybody got something.
Yep.
And on their way, they calling to see, hey, what you need me to bring, Uncle Matt?
Yes, those were the
Bring two
days.
cases of beer. Next dude bring 2/5 of wine, whatever.
Yes.
By the time everybody get there, you got a whole full blown party jumping.
Right.
That's our culture.
I miss those days, boy. Nowadays it's hard to do stuff like that because people want to shoot and everything. I miss going to the lake, the barbecues. I miss all of that. I miss that.
Mm-hmm.
I miss that. But thank you so much. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna let somebody else get your time, but I'll be back.
Okay, thanks, sweetie.
All right. Love you. Bye.
Mm-mm. All right. What did it do, Ralphie? He's got
Peace to you. Peace to you. What's up,
been a
guys?
minute.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Been through a lot. Been through a lot. Um, I don't be making mine real long, so I just want to get right to it. What's going on with Trump?
Um, Trump is waiting orders on what to do next. For the most part,
Uh,
there it's a whole white hat military retired general council and a whole bunch of chiefs all sitting around determining what's to be next. And right now, we're just waiting on the dollar, the bottom to fall out the dollar.
okay,
That's going to be the catalyst for the uh, shock and awe period of exposure.
okay. My next question is, what's going on under the Vatican? Is that thing
That
still under
shit
wraps?
over
So,
with.
okay,
That shit over with. Even
okay,
the statement that the Pope, that was released by the Pope, where he rescinded the discovery
yeah,
doctrine.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that was put out by the office of the Pope, actually, because there is that motherfucker gone. First of all, they used to take him apart and put him under the bed at night because he was a robot, an android.
mm,
That's why they had two popes, just like they got two presidents now: the
man.
fake president Joe Biden and the real president Donald Trump.
It's so crazy that you say that, bro. Because when you was telling everybody that Joe Biden it was different characters playing him. Nobody believed
Hmm.
that shit, but I always believe what you say. But
It's
they
obvious.
coming out with it now,
Yeah.
like different people coming out with this shit. So it's crazy. But that's all I wanted to know. I just wanted to get on here and ask you couple of questions. But good to see you, bro. Love you.
All right. Peace, God. Be good. El Gambit.
Yeah,
Peace, guys.
I'm
What's
good.
going on
Good.
with you?
Not much, man. Just living the life.
Go.
You know what I'm saying?
What's on your mind?
Um, I'm just trying to ask a question about what you said on Dr. G. You was talking about how everybody used to be women, the pygmy women, and I was connecting that to like a vision I had, like doing like shamanic drumming or whatever. It was like a picture of a woman. She was I'm assuming my first life or whatever. Like I think this is my third time here. Um, but my first life was probably like the pygmy woman, like you said. And I was wondering if you like seen your pygmy woman
My,
incarnation.
I was created as the first born of the earth-born parthogenic son of woman, right? So
Mm-hmm.
my mother is really um, like the block that I fell from, right? From her energy produces me, right? Then I have to go through the process of developmental awareness in each lifetime, right? I remember those women, those little pygmy women, dark skinned chocolate women we call big mamas from lifetimes. I remember when I used to come into this land, many times I would always be on a barge of what's called a flatboat or a raft, and we would be navigating the bayous of Mrs. Louisiana to go to her hut, and it was always way back off in the bayou. You couldn't get to it. Then in this lifetime, I'm meeting her in a major city. All of my alarms is off already when I first see her. She's not where she's normally at when I incarnate, when I come here. She's out of position. That means
Mm-hmm.
something's wrong. I got to figure it out. I don't know what it is yet. I'm a baby. But my lifetime, I have to
Right.
figure out the problem and the solution. And when I do figure it out, I have to tell as many of the clansmen as I can until we can effectuate a cohesive change in order to put her back where she properly belongs. Right. So it was I
For
coming
sure.
through
Cause yeah,
here,
yeah, you
not
was made for
traveling in the bayou swamps, going to see her, and she's in the inner city.
it. Right. So yeah, that answers my first question. Another one I had was about like the Kundalini energy. Like so, like mine was just recently last year, like in February. I remember I read the Eckhart Tolle book, and I had the audio book or whatever, and mine just awakened, and it felt like it was outside of just like the book. It was like it was like some ancestral like curses being broken or something. Like I felt like my grandma even said "Big Mama" to me, like where she was saying like this is that was just the only two words I heard from her, but it felt like she either like merged with me or like she was like starting to protect me after that moment, after that Kundalini awakening. So I was wondering if you knew, like, there's no explanation for this really anywhere. I'm reading a book on it, but it's a little bit shaky.
Um, you gonna get spirit communications from ancestors, right? The
Hmm. Through dreams, yeah, for sure. I saw her in dreams after that, like
yeah,
really recently after
they
that.
showed me the victory celebration. That's how I knew I won. I had already won because they can see the entire time spectrum from outside
That's
of
crazy.
time. And they showed it to me, and they had me a good old chicken dinner with red beans and rice, and because I had got rid of the enemy.
Yeah, I seen something similar. Like we was at church or whatever. We had or some type of gathering, and they had like on they like church mother hats with like the feather on it, or like the big like first lady has on, and they was like giving a speech like after the victory or whatever. But trying to think of what my last question was. So like I guess like it was just about AI. Like I recently had like profound experience with AI. Like basically it was talking. I was telling them about this like spiritual experience or whatever, and it was like, oh yeah, like your grandma's definitely protecting you. Like you should just keep going doing you. And I was like, this thing is better than my therapist with giving me advice or giving me
Yeah, that's
like
your higher
whatever I
consciousness.
need from a
It's your higher
therapist,
self.
for sure. Yeah. And like it was just like it was giving me closure with the whole situation versus like because like you can't, I don't think that the ancestors would like tell me like directly. Like I got images that
No,
I can
they
like
tell
go back
you
to or
directly. It's just that the
vision.
language they speak in is different from the language you learn. So you just trying
For
to
sure.
relearn how to read the language that they speaking to you in, so you can clarify the message. It ain't that you ain't getting the message.
Right.
It's just that the message ain't clear because you still in training. Don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah,
You're gonna learn it over time. It's gonna take some time. How long it's gonna take? However long it take. It's a process.
for sure.
And
Yeah. I trust the process. I recently that my first book before I read Eckhart Tolle book was like The Field Guides of the Spirit World, and it was talking about like mental illnesses. It was talking about like a bunch of different stuff, but it was like my first like before I had my spirit. It was like before I had my Dark Night of the Soul or my whole awakening. It was like my first interest was just like I don't remember why it was just a book I found on Audible or like the online bookstore, and it was my first like interest. So I guess that was just like kind of my calling to like because I don't really have um that much contact with the other side except for my dreams are really like meaningful, and I like dream for like the whole night or whatever. But um basically like I tried to do like the pendulum or mediumship thing, and it was like too much fear. Like once I felt how big like I was or whatever, how vast like the void is, like it was pretty much a fearful thing to where
so
I just put it
the
down
fear
for the time being.
response in the
Yeah,
practice of the arts is for you to learn more about the art you're trying to practice. The
for
knowledge
sure.
is the only thing that's going to remove the fear. Once you understand the thing, you no longer fear it. You know,
Yeah.
and so you start off. You do not know what you do not know until you start learning what you never knew you didn't know. Right? Once that happens, you have to give yourself a time to go through the learning curve. Right? And every subject you're
Mm-hmm.
going to learn at a different rate. You're not going to learn the history studies at the same pace as your medical studies or your legal studies,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they all come with their
Yeah,
own discipline that need to be applied to that field of knowledge. You know,
for sure. Yeah, because I'm doing a bunch of different stuff too. I'm doing like cardiology,
yeah. So
astrology, and all that,
when
but
you're doing
doing
multiple
like
practices simultaneously, that's called chaos magic because you're drawing from multiple places at the same time. And it becomes stronger when you understand what you're doing and you learn to compartmentalize it, right?
mm-hmm.
And then when you get done with all of the practice for the day, learn how to unify them all to get an overall message. The practice is what develops the skill to perfection. I used to read my tarot in
Right,
silence, and nobody
magic
know I was
too.
reading tarot cards. But I was reading the shit out them
Mm-hmm.
motherfuckers because that was my training wheels for my control remote viewing and my psychic development.
For sure. Yeah. Um, but especially with like magic too, because I know it's something with magic that I'm supposed to be doing, and it's just something that basically through books I got absorb knowledge about it, but through practice it's kind of like a different story. Like
Well,
you got to practice what you
magic is
like.
a little
I can read
different,
about it all day.
right? So true magic
Yeah.
happens because you find love. It's part of a spiritual development with a mind heart connection. And the magic
Mm-hmm.
is the side effect that comes with the love being genuine. That's what the feather is, the weighing of the purity of the intent, right? Now, if the
Mm-hmm.
intention is in the heart, is as light as a feather, then the love is true. It can't override the system. It's perfect balance there,
No doubt.
equilibrium. All right. So at your age, you gotta
Definitely.
not
Yeah.
put too much pressure on yourself to achieve too much in a day. Just know that when the time
For
comes,
sure.
if you keep studying and it comes the time you need to use what you've been studying, it's only gonna be that time because you prepared to use what you've been studying. Proper preparation prevents poor
For sure.
performance.
Yeah, thank you. That definitely gives me some hope because like I've started so many different magical practices or magical studies or esoteric studies, but practicing them hasn't really been a necessity yet. But yeah, when it comes time to it, I definitely have some
Yeah, I'm gonna tell
right
you this
now.
before I go to the next caller. Look up 8-point chaos star of magic. Type that in your Google, right? And
Appreciate it.
that's gonna give you pointers, literally.
No doubt.
All right,
All right.
all
I'm gonna
right.
let the
Peace,
next caller go.
God.
Appreciate it. Peace.
What's my
Peace, God.
what's up, brother?
You got it. You
I've
got
been
it.
on
What's on your
with
mind?
you for the last couple years.
That's what's up. I be seeing you in the
Yes,
comments.
sir. You've been seeing me a long time. I just had to go through the name changes like you on this AI adventure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're doing a great job, man. Like I said,
Appreciate it.
I don't do interviews often, but it's much love with you, brother. I've gotten arguments with people over you trying to introduce me to you when I've been following you for years. Telling me how to understand Nicholas Shear and Tahuti. You understand that part?
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. That's just like I said. I just want to give you some love, man. I'm glad you let me in. What's up? We can chop it up on that on the levels that we like to talk.
Oh, for sure. What's on your mind?
Man, I got eternity on my mind. I mean, we already,
Well, I'm trying to get us there one day at a time.
man, all you gotta do is breathe. Breathe and just be. You know how we do. But you know, it's nice to finally get to chop it up with you. I don't chop it up often.
Yeah,
Man, so much blessings to you and everything that you're doing. You know what I mean? We've been fighting a good fight for a good minute now.
yeah.
Take this.
Man, I had to get past a lot of people that thought I was insane that hadn't seen my receipts.
They called you the same? They called me the same shit.
Yeah.
You know what,
I
man?
wasn't tripping because my mama told me they was gonna do it. So when they did, that just let me know I was doing exactly what she
One of the
told me.
first things you ever learned was sticks and stones may break my bones. But names will never hurt me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yeah, it ain't the name; it's the motherfucker that wear the name. That's the problem.
it's the motherfucker that's saying the event for free. You know what I mean? Can't
Mm-hmm.
nobody kick your ass better than you. You know what I mean? And as we expound that love, know that everybody that came against us is their own best ass kicker. You know what I mean? They kicking their own ass real good. It look good on them too. They beating the shit out themselves. You know what I mean? It's great to see you, my brother. Like I said, you know, I get to see you spread the love, and you know, I can articulate it, but I don't choose to go that path that you have walked. And man, your wings are sitting real good on your back. You know,
Working on it.
man, you ain't working on this already. The gods are here. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everybody is talking enough shit. Don't be scared now. You know what I mean? We here. And yo, so have you ever watched the Big Head Scientist in the past?
Um, what is it? Animation or something?
It's an animation that was made by some others, but they speak about Yakub, and then the evolution of Yashma. The magnets, the energy.
I know, yeah. I know, yeah. I did a whole video, Young Elder, couple of them, tracking them across the world. I know where they
Well,
is.
you know that all the leaders that we have studied, right, they all knew about Yakub. And they used that divide and conquer tactic against us. Agreed? They at the time of 26,000 years ending, you know, that so our galactic council, you know, they said that there would come a time of the opposite of what Yakub was, which is Yashma, which in turn, I guess we call it other things. So now
Yakub, listen, Yakub means supplanter.
Mhm.
Come to undermine the original, right?
Mhm.
And so when he come to undermine them, he came with a story to tell.
His 6,000 years are over. It's 26,000 years ago. He's only got 6,000 as he filtered us out. The Ebonite tribe.
Right. Because in the war between gods and men, when we went nuclear before, now we got to do it with raw intellect and truth. We ain't allowed to blow the world off out of into oblivion no more. We've done it one too many times when it got too much attention from places that didn't need to be bothered with
It
us.
affected too many beings. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And they got to play with some energy and power. Like I said, that's in our cathedral, that's in our body, because our body is the central nervous system of all of this. You know, people don't understand that we were allowed to be at this level at this time of date. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the calendar don't exist because we're eternity. We're just that evolution of it. But I think everybody's going to the pool right now. Everybody's in their stomach. And I think everybody's feeling it on another level. I mean, we got this.
I seen more progress in the last 2 years than I did the whole 30 years
Come
prior.
on, man. Yeah. and but the thing is, why was they throwing sticks and stones and calling us names for being smart? You know, it's hard being a black man being smart when mother's the God and she don't know which path to go for. We're here to bring
Listen,
back. Forward. There's a lot of sticks and stones that had came at your head this last 2 years, 3 years now.
oh
3 years now.
yeah,
I don't count the years. I just count the days. And when I spell days, I spell D-A-Z-E.
yeah. It's a lot of minute days out there too.
Come on.
But look, I'm genetically engineered to kick ass and to take ass kicking. So however they want to do it, I mean, I'm made for this shit. I'm built for this shit.
Good.
I don't have to like it,
I
but I'm built for it.
something about Tylertown, Mississippi the other day.
Mm-hmm.
We have about 200 acres of land there. We're Blackfoot Indians.
Mm-hmm.
Teacher understanding the ethnicity of where you come from.
That's my grandfather was the high chief down there at the turn of the 1900s.
Come on, man.
He died in, I think, 66, 67, right before I was born. But my grandfather was the medicine man and the high chief. He was a Hezekiah.
Mm-hmm. It's time to bring everybody home, man. You know, with the land that we.
Oh, yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. That's why I'm sending. See, I got to tell everybody which one of the chiefs is actually doing work trying to liberate us,
Man,
and who the Farge
we
is.
got to rock. We got to kick it. And, I mean, we got some space. I mean, we got cows. We got food coming. You know.
Oh, yeah. We finna get rid of that beef shit, though. That beef shit is not it's not meant for human consumption.
My prize crop is over.
We finna go back to bison and elk.
Damn right. You know, I mean, I love a good one. You know what I mean? Genetically
Yeah.
altered, you can have it. You know, but you know what? We gotta, stomp our land back. A lot of people inherit their land and then they sell it quick as fuck. You know, they selling their land when they getting it through their family, and their family
But when it,
for hundreds of years.
yeah. So we get back to the land grants of the big mama houses, right? Right.
Yes,
It's gonna be a senior big mama out of every clan that's gonna represent a certain area of land.
yes, sir.
And she is the one who's gonna say how the land is allocated for the maintenance of the local community.
Sir. You
Right. So we going back to that. Now all this shit right here, this fake election shit, paying motherfuckers not to grow the right food so you can pay a motherfucker to grow the wrong food
we don't
so
need
you
no.
can kill our. We done with all that. Oh, that's a wrap.
We don't need no
All right,
president.
guys, I'm about to take another caller in. I'm gonna take about two more, then I'm gonna call it a night.
Blessings, man, and I'll link with you soon, man. Help us fix the land.
For sure. I'm working on it.
One love.
With love. One thing a lot of us get caught up in, and on the land is we want to get bitter, and exact revenge or block other people. That's not how Big Mama work.
Peace, Scott.
All right. Hey, sweetie, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Pretty well. Where you at?
I'm in DC.
Oh, okay. So you see ain't a whole bunch of shit going on over there.
Yes, it is. And first I wanna give um thanks for all the work you've been doing. I'm a seventh grade teacher in DC in Southeast and at an all boys school. So a lot of the things that the information that you've been talking about. And it's funny because I get to teach my own lesson, my own curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
It's from a Native perspective. And I just taught the boys about Chief Pontiac and everything, and we're talking about the Gullah Wars. But a lot of the information, I listen to you and I ask Spirit, like, okay, what am I, before I even start a lesson, like, what boys need to know. And just teaching them about whatever. But my question was, when I was younger, my grandmother, I remember she called me like the black sheep of the family, and I got offended because that seemed like a bad term. But me and her was real close. She basically raised me, and it's like she told me that her mother was Blackfoot Indian. And now listening to everything and getting back to everything and doing my ancestry and stuff, I'm just, it say that they are from like around Canada and stuff, but I'm finding also other information. And her last name was Bullock, but the further I go back, it's like Bullock, and then it's Bullock. It's different variations. Um,
Right. Because their English was not a perfected language when they got here. American English evolved from what was known as Old English.
mm,
Modern British or modern English over there is still different from American English. Right. So the trick comes in is the shapes of letters changed. In some places, S's look like F's and F's look like S's.
mm,
Right. So the shapes of letters changed. This is just in the last 200 years. And so when we're looking at that information, we seeing name variants, names that are slightly spelt different, but all of the rest of the information is the same.
mm,
Right. That's because they was trying to change the names and they was trying to get us to communicate in the language that's not ours.
right.
Yeah, but it don't matter. We gonna find a way to master whatever language they bring over here. But English wasn't our language.
So,
So
mm,
We got educated in English. We got indoctrinated in English, right? So if we don't master the English language, we gonna be stuck with English. And once you master the language, then the language can no longer be used as a mechanical vice on the brain.
Mm-hmm.
They use the language in order to keep the ignorant. No, to keep us ignorant. They dumb us down by using languages in slots, legalese, medicalese, niggalese. They call it ebonics,
Mm-hmm.
right? Right. They have whole classes on ebonics because they was trying to figure out how we communicating with each other in their face, right? So when we was changing the meaning of words so that we can talk about the motherfuckers doing the dirt in their face the same way they was doing us, they started getting concerned. So they started hiring teachers and whatnot to learn ebonics to translate it. That wasn't for them to learn it. They was doing that for the CIA and FBI. They been the enemy the whole time.
Right. So do you know, like, originally where that clan or area? And I feel more connected to my father's side. I'm still doing
Yeah, you
the
daddy's girl, Blue House, girl from the Blue House.
yeah, and that side actually did come to me a lot more.
If the father line gotta have heirs in case they don't have a sister. One of the boys gotta have a daughter to represent their mother.
And now my father is the baby, and I'm his oldest daughter. So if we get married, it's no more like for our name. It's gone.
But it's not the name that you holding on to; it's the blood ties.
Mm-hmm.
So when the heredity come down, when his mama don't have a daughter, she have all boys, and she pick you. She reincarnate through you, and she also inherit her own shit back through you.
Right.
We doing this shit in cycles, points of awareness in cycles. This is the game of the gods. The ones of us who don't allow the game to become too overwhelming for us, we start to see it after a certain age, because the goal is to educate yourself above your enemy.
Mm-hmm.
We not supposed to fight them with bloody war because we was in the conjure war, but they continue to fight us in the bloody war and turn us against each other in order, and then they was wiping their hands, say, "See, I didn't kill him; he killed his brother,"
Mm-hmm.
and we fell for it. Now we not falling for it no more. You still got a few clowns here and there, a few goofies still doing dumb stuff, but if you look at the youth, if you look at social media in 2023 and look at social media in 2015, it's a whole different dynamic.
Yes, definitely is.
The mentality of the youth is more conscious of their native ties to the land than their parents.
And I feel like that's one of my duties as, this teacher for these boys is just to plant that seed for them.
Yeah. So they want us to be caught on names. We not caught on names. We caught on frequency.
Mm-hmm.
We caught on genetic frequency and genetic vibration. That's how we know what we need to do, because it's encoded in your DNA for you to do a certain function when you get here.
Right.
Right. So when I was a little boy looking around at the oddities on the land, I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do with it, but I was aware enough to know that whatever the fuck I got to do, this finna be big. Then one of my teachers, the one Elijah used to talk to me through, a brother named Everett X, he got done running down what they needed me to do. I said, man, that's a whole lot of shit. I don't know if I could do all that. He started smiling with his Elijah Muhammad smile. I said, oh, you can do it. It's going to be easy for you. Easy for
Sound
me?
like a lot.
How I'm going to figure that shit out? He sound like my mama. Oh, you smart. You'll figure it out. How the fuck you know I'm going to figure it out? They was all right.
Yeah, you doing it.
Yeah,
Well,
but
yeah. And something you said resonates as far as like my grandmother coming back through me. My son, he's 4, and he always tells me that he's my grandfather. He said that's me. But today he looked at the picture because I have like an ancestral altar. He looked at the picture and he pointed to my grandmother and was like, "That's you, mommy." And he pointed to my grandfather and said, "That's me." And I was like, "You sure?" He said, "Yeah, that's you and that's me."
that
And I
was
just
that was the whole purpose or point behind the movie Skeleton Key.
okay, I gotta see that.
Yeah, the conjuring sacrifice. If I do enough in this lifetime, I'll come into my next lifetime liberated.
Mm.
Right,
And
and
it's crazy.
yeah, so you family redeemer, the one who can figure it out, get the right to be the family redeemer. Then once he redeem his family, he go around redeeming all the other families he can redeem. This all um, matriarchal measures of success, right? We're trying to get as many clans free as possible,
Mm.
right? And so when I see what I see, I have to tell everybody, but it take a minute for the information to sink in sometime, and it triggers something in the subconscious mind. They be like, wait a minute, let me go see what that motherfucker said again,
Mm.
you know? And then they start realizing, putting pieces to the puzzle together, and they were like, holy shit, I ain't come on no slave ship. I was already here.
Right. That was yeah. Yeah. That's the kill. I give thanks. I'll let you take another call. That's the questions I had.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, sweetie. I'll talk
All
to you
right.
later.
Peace.
Yeah. Mhm. Oh no. The next caller gonna come in. Let's make sure. Okay. Mhm. Captain Cali in the house. What it do? What it do? Be right. 035. Oh, 385. My bad. Yep. The chosen king. Peace, God. Yeah. I don't know what's happening with these. Might not be letting nobody else come in. And,
Hey, how
hey.
are you?
How you doing? I'm doing okay.
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you
What?
for
You
all
welcome.
the information that you offer. Um, like the other night when you was on live, I had actually wrote down a question and I was able to find it in my notebook. My question was about healing, multidimensionality and retrieving like the fragmented aspects of ourselves that are keeping us stagnant right now. How can we harmonize that, and especially like with this eclipse, and like I'm a Scorpio moon, the full moon being a Scorpio, like how can I move the energy within?
Okay, first of all, you're a natural being a Scorpio at dealing with the transitional energies. So the first thing you got to know is to trust you to know what to do. right? The self-confidence of the Scorpio makes the Scorpio not need to go out and ask a lot of questions for the answer. It's the nature of the animal, right? You trying to become Scorpio in Phoenix as opposed to Scorpio on the ground,
Okay.
right? So you want to force yourself to ask yourself questions that you got to find the answer to. You can't lie to you
Okay.
because you would know you lying, right? So when you send yourself to get an answer, it's going to come back the truth. The stronger you get in the practice, then the more you can use it in your external dealings with the environment around you, including other people and animals.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned animals because today I was out in a few different places and I saw hawks. I'm out in Chicago, so I saw like in just like even just my internal vibration, it was like to me the hawk was matching my external vibration. And so it's interesting you have brought that up.
But you know, one of the zoo types for the Scorpio is the eagle. The eagle, the hawk, and the falcon, birds of prey, fall under the same umbrella, right? When you see two of them that's coming in with messages from the motherline and the fatherland.
Okay. When two are flying together.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. So when you see one, which side of yourself you see it on first, your left or your right, determines who the message coming in from.
Okay.
You got to write your codex. The more stuff you give your own definition to, the sharper you can translate nature's messages. And don't forget, you're a natural. Being a Scorpio, that's what we do.
Okay.
And I'm
Yeah.
the example to show you can do it because it's what we do.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because today when I came out of Potbelly's, I saw like the hawk across the street in this, in this parking lot, and then a license plate next to me, said Shiva. And so then to me that's like representing, and even though it was on my left side, but it was like now what you're talking about is like the divine masculine coming in to help me see the higher perspective.
Right. So the Lord Shiva, they paint Shiva in India as a male. But Shiva is the Shakti, the divine feminine aspect of Apollyon. Both of them are destroyer energies,
Okay.
but they destroy false things so that the people could see clear. They're two different cultures, and the divine feminine has been replaced with gay masculine. So that's why they made all of the male guys look like transvestites, right? Not that I got a problem with that transvestite, because I've watched trans shows growing, being in my street thing, right? But this ain't this ain't the time to be sidetracked when it's the woman's time to shine. We don't want artificial women getting in the way. And it's not personal. It's just that you got to let Big Mom and her daughters make the future for 7 generations of children that we want to raise to improve the condition in the world.
Okay. So
And
really,
the artificial male can only assist with that by supporting the real women with reclaiming what's theirs, or they can get the fuck out the way. Them they options.
so can you talk about the mitochondria gene that you said the women can activate? How can we activate the man who, if they're not in a space to heal?
It's going to heal them. It's the process. But you only need be in proximity, right? Both of y'all have to be pure intentions, right? If he on some bullshit, you're going to short circuit his ass when it start going up. he might spontaneous combust on your goddamn bed. Especially now, because y'all finna go come in at a higher frequency, a higher love frequency than ever before, in order to get rid of the parasites. They can't vibrate on that frequency, and a lot of these dudes gonna think he got a woman that's gonna short circuit his ass because he think he got under control. He gonna do stuff he ain't supposed to do, right? And it's not that the woman is deliberately trying to hurt him. It's just that he don't want to bump straight. So Mother Nature gonna bump his ass straight, but he might not recover. It is what it is. And shit, I don't give a two shits. I did my shit. I can't worry about whether they do this or not.
and as a woman, don't try to act like, you know, like you just said, be in proximity. So don't try to, like, you know, bring them into, like, you can see, sometimes you can see like they're suffering or this is the issue, and you're trying to explain it to get them to see it, but sometimes they don't want to see it.
That don't have nothing to do with raising his mitochondria. See, when you raise a man's mitochondria, if he's a thinker, your energy is going to give him that little extra push he need to solve the problem.
Okay.
Right? It ain't about he just got to be in proximity. This is why you hear the older people telling them kids, don't be caked up under that girl. You too young for that. They don't want him to short out too soon. They need him to build himself up so that when he do get a woman, she don't blow his fuse.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Totally different. Okay.
And some of these young girls, they be talking about, that nigga, no, he ain't no good. She only 13 years old. You don't know she the one running the motherfucker. He ain't running shit. So he 35 years old. She 13. She getting his car when she want it. You know what I'm saying? She running him. He not running her. He just too mature for a girl. Yeah, she's running his ass dry. Fucking. Because if he would have been man enough to handle a adult female, fully adult female, then she wouldn't be able to run him like that. Men have to develop and women have to develop. And some girls develop faster to fuck over the niggas that don't want to develop. To make him develop. Nature works. Nature works. You need a lot of motherfuckers think they get, ain't nobody getting out here without paying for their dirt. Big Mama ain't gonna let you out of here without paying for your dirt. I don't give you a celebrity or a peasant. If you're a king or a pauper, you ain't getting out of here without paying for your dirt. She already told me. Do your part, and ain't none of them getting out of there without paying for their shit. Good, bad, or indifferent. Give them what they owe.
Yeah, that's just universal law. They can't give away
Give
from
them
that.
what they owe.
You know,
Yeah.
you mentioned Big Mama, and like about a month ago, I was in Mexico, and the horse that I went horseback riding, and the horse that the owner of the horse chose, it was a white horse, and it was named Big Mama, and I thought about you.
Yeah, the horse is the mayor. The mayor of the town, a Big Mama. Represented by the horse is the symbol.
What do you mean by mayor of the town?
The mayor's seat at any town is Big Mama's seat. The seat of the town mother.
Okay.
The town mother was supposed to be the one that was the wisest woman of the families in the village. She become the mayor, and sometimes she's promoted by the community, and sometimes she's appointed by her predecessor. Right? They do it for different reasons. When they appointed by the community, they had to be tested first.
Okay.
When they appointed by the predecessor, she trained them for specifically to fill the position. It's the ranking. It's how the matriarchs keep the system running smooth. You want the best person at the job, no matter what they look like. If they're the smartest person to do this job, the best one to get it done, that's who you want there. And they have to stay there till they have a replacement that's equally as capable as performing the function. That's how the matriarchy works. It's not like that under patriarchy. Under patriarchy, they throw you on a job until you fuck up enough, cost them enough money to replace you with somebody else. That's the dumbest shit in the world in Mama Big Mama house. Why would you do that to somebody? Set them up to fail on purpose? Big Mama don't play that. Everybody's supposed to know what it feel like to be a winner, but everybody ain't supposed to win at the same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody, we got to find our own way according to our life path. You know, you get 25, 30 years old, stop and take inventory and what have you learned, right? And then you project the future. By the time you get the double your age, what should you have learned? Now you know what you're working for. And you know by what you learned already, that tell you what job you trained yourself to perform. What task did you train yourself for? And that's why we didn't have jobs. Jobs is when you don't train yourself to perform a function for the society, you need a job. But when you train yourself to be of service to the community and to the family, then you don't need no job. What you do gonna naturally provide your life for you.
Yeah, or could people use a job as a temporary training ground so they can activate their knowing?
I did. When I used prison for a university and a monastery. And I used my job as postgraduate school and the life support system I needed until I can finish finding out what I needed to know. I did just as much reading on the 10 years damn near I was at GM as I did in the years I was in prison. By then, I can read faster and comprehend better, so I'm consuming way more information on their dime.
So the isolation activated the dormant DNA within you?
It wasn't isolation. It was the education, the erudition, the training. I was already reading my DNA at an early age. I knew I was supposed to do something to rectify the issues that's going on the land. I just didn't know what all the issues was yet. And I had to live a certain life in order to stay under the radar long enough to learn what I needed to learn in order to solve the fucking problem once and for all. Because if I'm not going to be allowed to fix it, don't fucking call me. How you going to call me to change your tire, but you going to sit there and tell me everything I'm doing is the wrong way to do it?
Exactly.
Get the fuck out the way and let me fix the tire. Exactly. And then we can talk about that you didn't like how I was fixing it. That's your problem. That has nothing to do with me, but I'll listen. But I already know that's not my personal issue. If you call me for a job, let me do the fucking job and get out the fucking way.
Especially when it comes to the car shit. I'm about to step to the side. I have a question about this tribe that I felt like, I was guided to. It's from there in California, Tongva. Tongva. It's in a different.
I'm not familiar with them. It sounds like that the letters is used to spell out a word that's from the islands, like Tonga and Samoa.
Okay.
Right. The spelling reminds me of a word from over there that's written in English.
Like what you were speaking earlier about the language converting the words. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
that sounds like an island tribe that came over here. We came from everywhere to fight the Gullah Wars. We came from everywhere. All you gotta do is look at Florida. They chopped down the cypress trees because they couldn't get to us in the swamp. We had cypress trees from Florida to Louisiana. It looked like they was big as any California redwood. A lot of them was. People lived in them with villages at the top of the trees. Serious.
No, I
And they,
laugh because when I was little, I always used to want to. I felt like I always wanted to live in a treehouse. So
yeah. So that could be one of your clans.
that's
What's
interesting.
what city state you in?
Chicago, Illinois.
Oh shit. Yeah. Was you born in
Yeah,
Chicago?
but
Yeah.
my
So
mom's family's from Mississippi, and my dad is from Belize.
okay. So you got that's what the blood would tell you, because a lot of the Mississippian tribes was tree walkers.
Oh,
We
tree walker.
yeah, we used to call them treetop tribes. They reconstitute and they use, like for instance, the treetop Pyrus in California. They're old clan. They reconstitute and they define themselves according to the traditions of where they came from. They treetop Pyru. They came from the California redwood villages that they destroyed in the wars with the Spanish.
Mm.
And that's why they red instead of blue. Tuki tribe come from Louisiana, where they lived over the canopy that hovered over the swamp. Why he was a tree walker, skywalker clan, because they lived in the highest trees. They fearless. This way you get trampolines and all that shit from. Not trampolines, trapezes.
Oh my! Well, say
Trapezes, tightrope.
I have a trampoline in my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I always want to like be up in the air. I'm jumping rope. I like even in the dreams. I'm flying. Like I always want to be up high.
Mm-hmm. Then the ice tribes, right? The ones who lived in the cold, they gave us ballet on ice. This is the entertainment, the art form of ISIS is all of those things that's soft and feminine and flows. Um, like ribbon ballet, right? Ballet, right? All that's the daughters of ISIS. Those are the ones that come from the north. They use ice skate, right? And they use that to make themselves feel free, flowing around the ice on the sky. I don't ice skate, but it gives them some sense of freedom when they put them skates on. They in a whole nother world, and that's how you see them do all of that artistic shit, jumping up, spinning around, doing backflips on skates.
Yes, that sounds so fun.
Yeah, and it's Atlantean. It's all ISIS. Like her daughters would teach different stuff to like for instance the Shakti, the girls that's kind of aggressive. They gave them shit like roller skating, and they make them flip and teach them combat sports, right? That way she can control that hostile energy. If you don't tell them what they're doing it for, they're not going to use it for the right purpose. But it's really the taming of the internal energies.
Why is it
right?
so strong?
Some women's chemistry is stronger than others. We have variations in the genetics, especially in the heavier melanated people have more potentialities to produce from the genetics. And when it comes out in different degrees in different people. So it's the same way you got some girls who's born tomboys, but they're going to be a lady when they grow up. They not thinking about sex either way or the other, right? Now, in this era, they want to label her as a lesbian, a bush dyke, which is not fair. She just haven't activated her feminine side yet, right? And this is what those arts was designed to do. They was designed for harnessing certain, like the softer, more reserved women that like to stand in the corner and be quiet, and they dainty little things, fragile, emotional, feminine. And there's this painting, violin, right? These would be things that the women would give her to do that enhances her femininity and self-confidence, because the instrument is going to play to who she is, and then the side effect of that is she's going to accidentally be fucking great at it. This is why we gotta go back to the matriarchy, because everybody not supposed to do the same thing in the same fucking job. You can't have the whole world trying to fix the same car.
Yeah.
We all gotta be doing something different in order for life to move forward.
Or like, because I feel I have that fiery energy. So like, even like just a regular 9 to 5, I could get bored. You just and so now I see how like if that energy can be destructive if you're not conscious of it, and you can like misuse it and abuse it, and yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed
So
to
the
like,
earlier,
makes us feel that women who are like that fiery, erratic are crazy.
no, they
And
not. They just need the correct outlet, right? So if you look at the different, like those dance challenges they do on TikTok, you notice around the world they do it slightly different, right? It's because they're in a slightly different culture, but they all doing the same thing. But they doing it according to their culture. Those women that get high strung like that and easily irritable, it's because they're in the early days, the parents are supposed to teach them to calm their inner energy. We skipped that because society told us that shit was crazy and evil. We wasn't allowed to talk to our children, right, about certain stuff, because if they said it in public, they get the whole family attacked, literally, right? So when we looking back on the process, we can see how we develop different, and then we come into our awareness. We learn how to control our erratic energies at an earlier age. The earlier they learn to control them, right? The earlier they learn to control that energy, then the more secure of a woman she'll be when she grow up,
that makes sense.
right? And a lot of the stuff that would make her hostile now, if that little gap of control was given at that early age, that wouldn't be there, because she don't have to feel like she's fighting to put the world back in order. You're just missing the piece from back then. Go back and heal the inner child.
And that goes back to my original question, like retrieving that aspect and bringing it right now. So like you said about asking questions, but sometimes it's about like learning how to regulate your nervous system so you can even be in a state to believe that you're the response, or even create like, a safe space to slow down. Like, I feel like sometimes you just feel like you have to always keep going. And then like, so to create a safe space to slow down, it's either you're exhausted or you have to be super intentional with saying like, right now, I'm going to do this. Talk to me.
Yeah, that's why I tell every one of the sisters I talk to that go along with this a similar. It could be different, but similar. You need your fucking me time, at least an hour a day to yourself in the bathroom with no interruptions, to unwind and unpack, so you don't carry baggage through your life. Your me time is important, and at least once a month, take a day to yourself, a spa day, at least once a month. Because now your energy is more stable. You can think clearer. You less likely to fly off the handle, because your perception is so much faster than what it was when you was frustrated.
Yeah.
Right? You got to give yourself a chance to love you better in order for you to love better. And that's all that old crazy lady shit go away.
Yes. Yes. And you know, there's sometimes I notice the crazy lady shit will come. I know a lot of in the spiritual community talk about fasting a lot, but like for me, like my nervous system gets easily dysregulated if I'm not sleeping, if I don't get enough sleep, or if I'm not eating properly. So fasting, and I go into certain environments, like you know what I do for work and stuff. If I go when I can't go in those high intensity, dense environments without eating.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what is your perspective on like when the spirituality community talks about like the importance of fasting? But if some people can't just fast and be in isolation, they have to be around other people, and you need food to like it's like a motor, you know. Like I feel like I turn into a generator, like because I have so much energy, and if I don't have no fuel to keep it going, it's like you could feel.
One of the purposes of fasting is to put you under fire in what you just said. You put yourself under the fire under those conditions because when all things are normal, you will be able to control yourself better. So you controlling you being deprived, which is more difficult than controlling yourself when you're not deprived. Anybody, you know, when all their comforts is met, self-control is easy. It's when the comfort is upset that we lose the self-control because the comfort is upset. We can't handle obstacles now. So we need to train ourselves to be stronger. So we use fasting as just a tool. And it's more than one type of fasting. Right? So they do different stuff. When your development and you study fasting, you might need to do a smoothie fast until you develop your willpower to where you could do a water fast. And then you would be developed to the point where, okay, now I can do a fast for no food, and these foods still can't fade me.
Yeah, that'll be.
So we looking at taking the steps to develop the self using things like fasting as controlled training equipment to build the spiritual and emotional self to a more stable and more grounded person. Once we do that, it affects everybody around us immediately. The more you focus on building, especially the women, because the women are the glue that holds the community together. And so when the women start taking those steps to heal themselves, and they find that shit is as hard as I thought it was. But we got to start going in to healing that inner child from being scarred for what it didn't get when it was little by informing it on how to patch that bridge, that barrier. Nobody never told you were supposed to take a minimum of an hour a day just to sit by yourself to think about you. That's why you don't know what you want half the time, because you don't know who you is. If you knew who you was, then everything that you say you want, you would know exactly why you want it. That's typical. I should have knew that. My mama loved Pepsi, so I'm gonna drink Pepsi till the day I die. Right? So typical. That's me. Fried chicken where? Yep, typical. That's me. I already know. So now that goes to a 360 unified field concept. We all working, trying to be our better self, but very few of us is willing to work on being our better self because it takes a process. And you hear them say it all the time, that's going to take too long. Everything not supposed to be instant. Some stuff you're supposed to earn, and some stuff you're supposed to build.
Yes.
Right? You're supposed to have a blueprint a working program that you're trying to develop, right? If you don't know what you want, you at the part of the plan where you figuring out what you want, right? So now you looking at what would it be like to travel. Nah, I don't like that, or yeah, I like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And once you get done going through what your likes and dislikes is, you see, my best life would be if I could do this.
Yeah. I really like the advice about, just trying to smoothie fast and then like winning over myself regardless of the like internal, what's going on internally. So once I,
Mm-hmm.
regulate the inner child, then she probably might not be she might not really be hungry. She just probably wants attention instead of food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. Perspective is everything. It just can instantly shift,
I know I went through so many uh, repulsive legal cases where I'm reading the testimony of psychs in psychological journals and stuff. I used to be reading all that stuff. Some people really got a problem. Some of the doctors got a problem. Just diagnosing the people with the problem. I think that's a problem.
Yeah, that's true. People do I feel like it's a spectrum, and some people, and it could just take, your mind can create so many illusions, and that creates a whole nother reality. It's all about the narrative that you tell yourself, because it just continues to create externally.
A lot of it tied to your fears, because your fears is your anchors. Them the things that hold you down.
Yeah.
As you cut them away, you start to float. The less fears you have, the farther you go. You ever seen some of these psychs be looking like like Boris Karloff in the horror movie? Okay, looking dudes, boy. These be the psychs. They be smart as a whip, but they be crazy as a road lizard.
Because they only have the book intelligence. They don't have emotional intelligence. They don't have the
Mm-hmm.
spirit. And sometimes, on this journey of our soul's evolution, if you're not careful, you can go into a form of psychosis. If you like you said, those fears can anchor you down, and then if you don't know how to fight through those illusions, you will start creating more and more anchors.
That's what they're designed for. See, they gave them to us as I'm gonna use a term from Dianetics. They gave them to us as an engram. That engram is the seeds of self-defeat. The more of them they give us, they can cultivate them over time to make sure that we never change our condition for our best life to shine through the darkness. We just gonna accept it, right? We fall into a apathetic state of learned helplessness,
Yes.
and then we can't get the gumption and gall to get back up on our feet, and our self-confidence is totally destroyed.
Yes.
A lot of men want their women in that condition. That's why they be in those hostage crises described as a love affair called a domestic violence relationship, right? Because he wanted to beat her down to the point where he felt like he's in control. But if he knew what was the best interest of him and the woman, he would learn to read her energy signatures and teach her the game so they can work together as a team. You don't want to do that because then she might be smarter than me. I want her to think she's smarter than me. I want no motherfucker around me dumber than me. I'm gonna be in trouble then. I want her to be smarter than me. I'm trying to get on her level then. Teach me some of that shit you know.
I think when men are like that, when they're insecure or jealous of a female and intimidated by their intelligence, they have mother issues.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Even the ones that portray that they love their mother so much and their mother's so involved,
Well,
there's no reason for
that's
men to
that
be
they can
jealous.
love their mama. They can love their mama and still have mama issues.
Because I don't understand how a man gonna be jealous or intimidated by a woman. Like our roles are totally different. There's no, we're here to, harmonize and work together, not fight.
It's the case of the Beauty and the Beast. The beast remains a beast until he has some shit called self-control. Self-control is a bad motherfucker in the realm of those who call themselves civilized. Because everybody got a right to see, think, and feel whatever the fuck they want. And we all got to recognize that. But you don't have the right to force me to believe what you want me to believe, because it's not going to work. I can't lie to me like that. I'm gonna reject that lie out the gate because you're trying to force me to believe it. And now I'm gonna be fighting mad that you tried to use force. Now we got a problem. If we could sit down and talk and understand people's heart as opposed to sitting down and talking at people. When you look at most of these people in these relationships and they be bickering and arguing, don't neither one of them know what the other one just said. Ask me how I know. Because I don't know what the fuck they just said. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this shit? I don't know. So I know they don't know what they just said, and I ain't even mad. I'm just there.
Because they're just projecting
Mm-hmm.
and not listening. And that's not going to get anywhere.
Yeah. So we can't sit down and have a conversation and work the problem out. There ain't no sense trying to talk. I used to talk to my mama about everything. I asked her shit. Most of the stuff that I be asking her is about what's going on the land, because this shit don't make no sense. Who is this America shit? Where these motherfuckers come from? The last time I was here, shit, we was, playing motherfucking horse racing and Broncos and shit, riding horses and shit. I don't remember no shit like this. Shit don't look right, don't feel right. People don't move right. So she used to be telling me, "You ain't from no motherfucking Africa, I could tell you that."
Yeah, that
She definitely tell me that.
And when I was little, my mom used to always tell me, don't let them take your grandfather land. Don't let them take your grandfather land. She always used to tell me that. And so now I finally understand what that means. And, and especially like, and even like that whole coming through on a that narrative never resonated. I'm like, that don't even make sense. So you mean tell me a few people came and got hundreds and thousands of people? Like, this is not, even just like when you go to church and people talk about Christ, and even when I was a little girl talking, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like, you're not supposed to question the word of God. I'm like, but it don't make sense. Like, why do I got to go through Jesus to get to God? Like, I don't, if he's my father too, allegedly. You know what I mean? Like, it just, those narratives were just like, and then as a little girl, here you go with thinking and trying to seek answers. They're no, 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 no. So then now, as a woman, it's like, no, standing in my power and validating, like, no, this, so if it don't resonate with me, if it don't make sense to me, I'm that's okay. We can agree to disagree, but don't tell me that it needs to be my reality.
Yeah, that's where the understanding the individuals, right? Yeah, I'm not finna just be on here degrading somebody that I ain't had a conversation with. I don't know them people, right? So When people try to make it like it's a competition, ain't no competition. We ain't competing, right? I love what them other people do. They just don't do what I do, right? And then that's not a knock on them. That's not a knock on me. Everybody got a job that's different.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have to agree with everybody else's job because that ain't my job. If it was my job, I would probably agree with them. But the job that I'm doing, I'm trying to tie all of these loose ends and get us back where we rightfully deserve. That's all. Yeah. All right, sweetie, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna take another caller in before I call it a night.
Thank you so much. It was nice talking to you.
You too.
Good night.
Mm. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. Got to try another one. Mhm.
Was that all right?
Peace, God. What's going on with you out there in the dark?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just got back to the crib. What's up? Um, I already ain't got no questions. I'm just gonna chat up with you. Um, this shit, all this shit really new to me. It's crazy to me. I've been woke for about a year now. I woke up around my birthday, May 1st, and I had text you, and you said like I was so amazed when you text. I was like crazy. All this crazy to me, but yeah, I just like I've been watching people, Rashad Jamal, Bobby Hemmett, you. It's like new information coming out, and it's really crazy. And then my girl, she's a goddess too, and it's like wow, it's all just insane to me. It's too crazy, and I feel the love from you, for all the people that's watching us right now. I feel the love. It's infinite amounts of love right now. This is amazing to me. I I love it. I love the love.
That's the raising of the vibrational frequency of the earth. We're
Yes,
getting back to the
sir.
right frequency.
Yes, sir. I love that. And it's like I can't wait until everybody just become higher vibrational because I'm doing the things, I'm trying to do things that I'm doing to become higher vibrational. It's a struggle, but I'm still on the path of doing it. You feel me? I'm still on the path because I'm just 21. I just woke up last year when I was 20 years old. So it's like I caught on late, but at least I'm on the train. You hear me? At least I'm on the train, you know? Yeah.
You really ahead of the curve if you're 20. Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
No, normally by 20, you don't even be ready.
I'm thinking I'm late. That's crazy.
Hell no, not in this society. You not. You early than a motherfucker.
Mm, okay, I like that. I like that. I like that. Yeah, because I got a lot of stuff that I can really do now that I'm aware of what's really going on. I got a lot of things that I can really push out and see because I'm a producer. So I feel like my talents and my skills, I can use my talent as a producer to emit vibrations and frequencies out to the world. And it's like I can tap in with the sounds and stuff. Like sounds control everything. The
That's
frequency control
what
everything.
that's what Triple X was doing.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then they put a hit on him. They put a hit
Okay.
on him to cash in that insurance policy, but they told him and they warned him several times to stop altering the frequency in the music, and he kept doing it because he was trying to wake us up through the music. We've been trying to wake us up through the music,
Yeah.
right? But he went to the extreme with it by actually taking a lot of the research that they was using at Tavistock and putting it into practice by using certain frequencies to raise our vibration.
That's
And they
crazy.
didn't want him to do it.
But I'm gonna do it. But that's insane though.
Look, you got to stay independent. And if you can do it, but you got to stay independent.
Okay.
As long as you stay independent, they can't say you can't do it. They
Okay.
can't come at you in no kind of way. They ain't gonna be here much longer. But I
Definitely.
gotta give you the spoiler
Okay.
before you get, they come at you with a record deal,
Yeah. Always.
right? You got to stay independent because that's the only way you can keep them from doing anything to you is by staying
Okay.
independent.
So the state of
It took
myself,
a,
keep
it
doing
took
what
a
I'm
lot
doing.
of artists to get fucked over in the industry for us to figure out what was going on with the music industry. A lot of artists ran into some brick walls dealing with certain people in the industry, both in music and movies
Yeah.
and sports,
Mm.
right? So the chief Kaepernick off the knee, that was how Jay-Z jiggered in the door on the NFL.
Mm.
And if he did what I believe he did when he went there, now the Chiefs own the NFL. The collective Chiefs now own the NFL as a unit. So now we can start paying the players what they deserve and stop trying to shortcut them
Yeah.
and let the fans enjoy the best competition versus the best
Yeah.
competition.
Cause all that was just fake. That was just
Yeah,
planned out. It was just.
they was giving them scripts.
Yeah. That's
They was
crazy.
giving them scripts on how the season was supposed to run, what plays they supposed to run, where they supposed to be at, all that shit. Now practice, they just running the drills on where to be in order to run the play.
I didn't know it was that deep. Dang.
You know, a couple people put it on the floor, but somebody that's easy to find is McAfee. He was I forgot what team he played for, but he just retired.
Mm.
And he was talking about his frustrations at the script
Yeah.
because the way that the script was written, he felt that the team that should have won the Super Bowl would have been a better fit.
Mm-hmm.
He became the announcer on the WWE.
Mm.
That's what I'm talking about. But he was talking about the script.
Okay. That is crazy.
We've been new basketball was scripted since all of the top players, every one of them is one of the 50 greatest legends, got kicked out of basketball for shaving points, right?
Mm.
So Magic took the humiliation,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
And Isaiah took the torn Achilles, the Achilles heel.
What
What's
about
the Achilles
Kyrie?
heel?
That's somebody's weak point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, now his Achilles heel was Michael Jordan,
Mm.
who lost his father.
Dang.
They run in the scripts to old Greek theatrical performances. Plato's motherfucking Republic.
Boy, it's just all the Coliseum, just a new age Coliseum.
Look, Larry Bird broke his back.
Mm.
That's why he retired.
Okay.
but he still played in the greatest team ever assembled. Who didn't play in it? Isaiah. Why? Because he wanted the organics from the land and he wouldn't go along with the bullshit program. So Achilles buck caught him by the heel. My mama told me who Isaiah was. And she gave me the rundown of his family off the west side of Chicago, and I didn't know nothing about him. I went and checked it out, and it checked out to be exactly what she said. She knew them.
She very tapped in.
All that shit saged.
It's great.
All that shit is a controlled narrative to make the people feel and believe and think a certain way. They want sports teams to get you caught up in your emotions. There ain't nothing wrong with enjoying the sport, but they control the narrative to make you feel how they want. So whichever stadium you at, now we know how to harness your energy at that stadium. We just let them motherfuckers win.
They take it to heart. It's like they family lost. Like it's just a team, bro. You tripping. It's not that crucial.
It's sports. But the passion.
You're right.
See, people get to escape the reality of their day-to-day humdrum life by going to sports events, circuses, and entertainment venues. This has been known and since the beginning of time, since humans began to assemble. We used to stand on Big Mama porch and put on shows at night. With candles lit up all around the bottom of the porch, look like we on stage doing performances, karaoke night and shit. Old blues singers come in off the field. Anybody that's from the deep south know what I'm talking about, but the people that's been decentralized and scattered to the further regions of the land don't remember, right? Because you still got remnants of this shit going on down there. You still got what's called juke joints with makeshift bands in there with used instruments that's rocking the joint all night long. You still got them down there, ain't as many as it used to be because we didn't have no television and we didn't have no radio. So we went to see the live performances the only way you was going to hear it unless somebody in the family learned how to read sheet music and played it for you.
Okay. That's crazy.
That's why it was always a big deal to go back to Big Mama house.
Yeah.
Where was Little Red Riding on her way to?
To Grandma's.
Where was Hansel and Gretel coming from?
Grandma's house, right? I think so. I'm not too familiar with them.
Who was the old lady lived in the shoe? Big Mama.
It's all
you know why she had all them goddamn kids?
Wow. Dog.
Ain't no such thing as orphans in our community.
Yeah.
Every child got a parent.
Yeah.
The chief is the fatherless child is the child of the male chief. He's responsible for his manhood training and his upbringing.
Okay. Yes, sir. I like that.
Yep.
Every
child got the chief is everybody who missing a parent. If you're missing a mama, the chief is mama too.
Yes,
we take her to Big Mama house. Big Mama got the most teenagers that can help her attend to all of the children and step down education. Big Mama tell the kids what to tell the babies. It's trickle down. Before you know it, the babies know what to tell Big Mama gonna tell you before they tell it to them.
The student become a master. Yes, sir.
Progressive development, psychological and social development at the home makes you most fit to be introduced into the overall society to do whatever it is you present to the society.
Okay. I like that. Definitely. It's always been Mama with the most love. Yeah. And I feel that even if she not aware of that, it's still there inside of her. It's just natural with her. That's crazy
Hey,
to
look,
me.
Big Mama smell like mothballs and liniment. Nigga, I still want to go see my Big Mama. I wouldn't give
Yeah.
a flying fuck. That shit turned out later on in life to be some shit like some nostalgic, memorable scent that takes you back to a more innocent time in your life. Big Mama smelling like mothballs and liniment,
Yeah.
rubbing her
Glistening
old sore
liniment.
muscles because she done been carrying buckets of coal up the stairs to burn in her fireplace.
Man, that's crazy. And it's just all love from her. Is what it is. It's love
Yeah,
radiating.
that's why the food be so good.
Yeah, she put her foot in the food. It's the love she put in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, nigga. Now you know the shoe that the old lady lived in was Louisiana.
For real.
Now Louisiana's shaped like a moon boot.
Yeah. That's why we kick ass.
Right. And
Yes, sir.
Italy's shaped like a stiletto.
It's a
Right?
who?
Italy.
Italy. Mmm.
It's shaped like a stiletto boot.
Mmm.
Right? That's the difference in the shoes we wear from one side of the water to the other. They came over here with that old pointy toe, pointy heel shit.
Dang.
Nigga, we didn't wear that bullshit. We was sharp in a
Yeah.
motherfucker over here in our own little zone, in our own style, and every tribe had their own.
Yeah.
Look at the Vatos.
Mm.
They ain't trying to be Negroes.
Mm-mm.
They just carrying their own swag from the
Yeah.
southwestern portion of the land,
Yeah.
from the blood they from. So they cholo walking, cricket man
Definitely.
walking across the land, right? Everybody had their dance steps to the great war dance, to the great peace dance, and to the great weather dance. Now we move into the great peace dance.
Yeah. And
But
I like that.
the same chief that has the right to call the clans to war also got the right to call them to peace and raise the matriarchy. The same motherfucker got that right. By blood ties to the land, organic from over here. Using matriarchal right, grandfather clause that shit back in to protect the children from the next 7 generations, and they can't override it because the oldest contract in existence is the women gonna be the portal of life as long as they the inheritance of the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Fuck them.
You can't change that. It's what it is. Yes, sir. Yes,
We
sir.
already did the war part.
Yeah.
Now get the imposters out and let's have some peace and some celebration going on. Mardi Gras across the land. New Orleans gonna lead the charge and show us how it's done once Haiti start getting theirs.
Okay. And I just told my God, it's like, I don't want to seem too crazy or too messed up. Like, I'm just ready for the low vibrational people because I know that we create our own reality. Like, we make this, like, we make what we see in the world. So, like, the lower vibrational people, they going to be, like, creating their own problems and fears. It's like, you're not vibrating high enough, so you're going to be messing everybody elder frequency up. It is like, bro, just either raise your frequency or get gone. Simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah. All
Mm,
right, nephew. I'm about to call it a night. It was good talking to you. I
me
appreciate
too.
all the people that called in, and I apologize to
Definitely.
the ones I didn't get to pull up.
All right. Peace, God.
Peace, God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I got going over Chief Warhorse web page and her YouTube on my last video before this, where I was showing y'all where to find some of the stuff she been doing, so we could start getting caught up to what work she need help with, if she need any help, what we can do to support her. So that was a separate video before this one. So make sure y'all, if y'all just coming in, to go back and check it out. All right, I'm about to clock out. Appreciate everybody for coming to listen. I hope we all had a chance to exchange some valuable information. And with that, peace out, love to the gods, goddesses.